In this episode 37 of the Daily Hustle Show, it is part 3 of the 4-part series about building your super team. We are talking about inspiring your team, inspiring your employees. Also, Marshall reveals his deep, dark secret that he is secretly a Windows PC guy.
Broadcasting from the box that rocks and Thrive15.com world headquarters, it's the Daily Hustle with Daniel McKenna.
Welcome, friends, into episode 37 of the Daily Hustle Show. Sitting over there, as always, Marshall Morris, today in a red tie. Nice red tie there, Marshall. Well done. And over here, Daniel McKenna. This is the episode 37, the Nick Van Exel and Meta World Peace episode, Marshall.
Who's Meta World Peace?
Meta World Peace is the artist formerly known as Ron Artest. The basketball player Ron Artest, who changed his name in 2011 to Meta World Peace. Here's their connection, by the way. Both former Lakers. Actually, I think Ron Artest is still playing. I think he's still with the Lakers, which is amazing. Nick Van Exel was a former NBA All-Star, played with a bunch of teams. Nick the Quick. Okay, so here's a nice way to also connect them. Which, by the way, we're talking about inspiring your employees today. It's part 3 of the 4-part building your super team. That's what we're actually talking about today. But real quick, this is episode 37. This is very important, the Nick Van Exel and Meta World Peace connection. Nick Van Exel, in 1996, during a game against the Denver Nuggets, pushed a referee, resulting in an ejection, 7-game suspension, and a $187,000 fine.
Wow.
7 games. And then Ron Artest, he was Ron Artest at the time, now he's Meta World Peace. Of course, is known for the Malice in the Palace. I mean, he's also known for being one of the better defenders in the NBA, won multiple Defender Players of the Year, that sort of thing. Won a championship with the Lakers. But he's most known for going into the stands and beating up a fan, who, by the way, was not the fan who threw the cup of beer at him.
That's right.
It was the guy next to him.
Furthermore, notably carries a bottle of Crown in his locker.
Really?
Yeah. And also, I believe, I'm thinking Gilbert Arenas with the gun.
That was Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, that was Gilbert Arenas. But taking shots of Crown before the game, Ron Artest.
I went to a Thunder Lakers game many moons ago. It was down there near courtside before the game started. And Ron Artest spent the entire time, everybody else is shooting, dribbling, spent the entire time stretching out his hips. The entire time. And then went and played the game like it was normal.
That's the connection that Ron Artest and myself have.
Really?
Yeah, we stretch our hips.
And then get out there and just start firing.
Yeah. You see me in our rec games.
I hope our audience are big NBA basketball
If they're
fans.
not basketball fans,
They've probably turned this off by now.
yeah.
So let's go ahead and dive into this part 3 of the 4-part super team, building your super team series. And we're talking about inspiring your employees. So if you missed it, number 1 was recruiting. Number 2 was hiring. Number 3 is inspiring. So let's get into this, Marshall Morris. Now, one thing you have to know about Marshall Morris is 87% robot and about 4% human emotion and about 9%, I don't know, what would you say the last 9% is?
Horse tranquilizer.
Horse tranquilizer. Dude, there's about a 4% emotion in there. So he's not excited about today's episode, but this is for the people that are not the A players. There's the people that are not the Marshall Morrises in your organization, talking about inspiring your team. Okay, so from the Start Here book, the Clay Clark and Marshall Morris book, Start Here, says, when you manage people, you must understand that most humans behave in a fairly predictable way, and that for the majority of people, their emotional state controls 2/3 of the actions they take on a daily basis. The emotional state controls 2/3 of their actions. Let's get a little bit further into this. Best-selling author of emotional intelligence, psychologist Daniel Goleman once said, if your emotional abilities aren't in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you're not able to manage your distressing emotions, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationships, then no matter how smart you are not going to get very far. Now, Marshall, you are not a person that needs a whole lot of daily inspiration. You don't need a lot of people telling you all the time how good you are and you're doing a good job. You don't need that. But talk to me about the 95% of other humans out there. What is Daniel Goleman getting at here?
He's saying that you have got to be an excellent manager of people, and people are emotional. So if that is true, okay, and I think we can agree that most people are emotional about something. Most people.
Their decisions are led by their emotions.
Yeah. And so if that's the case, then you have to be a great manager of emotions, which means being able to connect and identify what the emotions other people have, and therefore, I don't want to say manipulate, but at least influence others' emotions. And understanding what influences other people's emotions is so important. So that's what he's talking about here, and how it relates to business is coming in every single day, even though you yourself might not need that motivation, most people do. And so you have got to influence other people's emotions to inspire them on a daily basis in order to get that daily productivity out of them.
Talking about influencing human behavior, we've got another quote from Simon Sinek coming up here in a minute. But Marshall, you have, not only are you working with a double baker's dozen of business clients, you also have been charged with recruiting people. You also have been charged with managing the office. Talk to me about other people that maybe don't have the same the get up and go that you do. Not everybody's an entrepreneur. Not everybody is super excited to start the day, to get out there, to take charge, to like make something of their day, right? Some people, that's just not their thing. Some people are there for the job. Yeah, they want to do a good job while they're at the job, but then when the job ends, they're ready to go on about the normal part of their life. Like that's what they're excited about, right? That's the norm. That's the norm. Mm-hmm. That's how most people are. Talk to me about managing these people that you don't quite understand why they aren't inspired, because you are inspired. You are inspired to do something, but maybe they aren't. Maybe they're here to do their job, to get their paycheck, and to go about their life and hang out on the weekends and stuff. Talk to me about that a little bit.
So I have a company that I work with, okay? And I'll just give her a shout out. I'm not going to give the company, but her a shout out. Rachel Hastings.
Big ups to Rachel Hastings.
Big ups to Rachel Hastings. And we were talking about this earlier, last meeting. She was saying that the process in her business is rather chaotic. There is a process in her business that is rather chaotic, and she doesn't understand it. She makes do with the chaos. She figures out a way to do it, but her employees, they hate it. They are so frustrated. I go, well, it's probably because your employees, candidly, Rachel, they feel like you are setting them up to fail because it is chaotic. I'm not saying that you're doing that. I'm not saying that you are intentionally doing that, but that's probably the mental state that they are experiencing because it is so chaotic. And so you're holding them accountable to a chaotic process. Let's figure out how to fix that. And so the first thing to understand is that she doesn't feel that type of frustration because she's invested into the business. She doesn't need to be inspired. But when you set up these employees and things can get chaotic, or the process isn't clearly refined yet, you have to understand that you have to inspire them. You have to maybe influence them to be working onto something greater than this chaotic process. Because when for too many days you ask somebody to be loyal and accountable to a chaotic process, eventually, without any type of progress and improvement in that, they're just eventually going to drop that. So when people are not goal-oriented, they're not working onto a vision or onto a why, they're only working onto the job. And when the job gets tough, they drop the job. Okay, and so we talk about that with all of the prospective employees. If you're looking for a jobby job, this is probably not a good fit for you here at Thrive15.com. We want people that are headed somewhere. And as the same should go for anybody that's watching this video, you need to find people that are working towards something greater, okay? Working onto some type of vision or purpose or mission for their life, that are using the job in order to get there, using it as a vehicle to get there. And so you said most people, they go about their job and they have the job and then they have their life. And they are seen as two separate ideas.
Yep.
But once you've incorporated them together and you become engaged in both and you use the job in order to get to where you want to go, that's when it becomes real. And as a manager, as a business owner, you need to continue to remind people of that on an ongoing basis.
Two thoughts on that. One is you were talking about creating a win-win, which we'll talk about later on in this episode.
Yep.
So that's a really big deal. Two, Oprah Winfrey quote here for you. Oprah Winfrey, and this is off the top of the dome here, Marshall. How do you feel about that?
Wow.
In your face.
Wow.
And not even in the show notes. This is
Wow.
off-
I'm looking for it. I don't believe you.
It's not there. Oprah Winfrey says, anybody wants to ride the limo with you. You're looking for people that want to ride the bus with you when the limo breaks down. Talking about hiring people. Anybody wants to jump in on a really sweet paying job that they don't have to work super hard and life is great. Maybe it's a cool job. Maybe there's some sort of sexiness about it, or maybe it's just paying their bills so they're cool. But not everybody wants to jump onto the bus with you when the limo breaks down. So when Marshall was saying when the job gets hard, or maybe it's a little bit less pleasant than before, not everybody's like, yeah, I'm still in for the vision. So that's why having the job that they have, connecting with a future goal with theirs, why that's so important. Why that's such a big deal.
That's right.
So let's talk about one other point you made there about continually reminding people about that. Generally, again, just for context, we're talking about building your super team, building your super team. And for further context, Jack Welch says the team with the best players wins, but I don't believe he's talking about just the most talented players.
That's right.
Because as we've seen from the New England Patriots, who again just won the Super Bowl, I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, so this doesn't make me happy or sad or anything like that.
I'm a Browns fan.
You're a Browns fan.
Doesn't make me happy or sad.
We are fans of bad NFL teams, but they don't have necessarily like the best players in the world. They don't have Julio Jones.
Neither do the Browns.
That's also true. Julio Jones is a freak.
Yeah.
They don't have him.
No.
Their best receivers are small, much less athletic than him. We're not recruited like he was.
Now, somebody's saying right now,
Yep.
they don't have good players. Tom Brady might be the best quarterback in the history of the NFL.
Fact. And you do have to have some skill, and you do have to have some talent.
He was drafted 199th.
6th round, right?
6th round.
So 6 teams had a chance to pick him up, the greatest quarterback in NFL history. He's just won 5 Super Bowls. It's starting to become like where you can't even argue anymore. Greatest quarterback in NFL history. 6 teams had the chance to pick him up. Nobody did. Patriots pick him up in the 6th round.
No, a lot of teams had more than one chance.
Well, right.
Yeah. 6 rounds going through the entire round.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And he's 198 people better choice at the time.
And while I believe that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback, now I believe that. He's won 5 Super Bowls. He's amazingly clutch. He's 39 years old and still playing like he's like 28 years old. It's amazing. While I do believe that, do you notice how whenever Tom Brady gets hurt, the Patriots keep winning? Jimmy Garoppolo shows up in there and just wins for a few games. Jacoby Brissett, who is that? I have no idea. I think he won one, he lost one.
Maybe he doesn't get hurt, but maybe, Roger Goodell has it out for him, maybe, who knows?
So this isn't meant to be, if you watch the Thrive Time show or listen to the Thrive Time show podcast, I'm sure you get enough Patriots love as it is. This isn't meant to be a Patriots love fest. That's not what the point is. The point is the team with the best players wins, and they're the best players if they're connecting with that goal. They're connecting with their long-term vision of what they're doing and how that matches up with where they're going, okay? And to do that, you have to inspire them. You have to continually inspire them. Let's talk about how human emotions work, Marshall.
Okay.
You just got a new computer.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Pretty excited about that new computer?
Oh, yeah, very much.
It's a sweet computer.
It is.
You just got it set up and everything? What is it, like 27 inch?
27 inches.
27-inch iMac.
Of glory.
It's a beast.
Yeah.
It's a beast. It's a really nice computer. Just got it.
Yeah.
Unveiled it yesterday.
Yep.
You're probably pretty excited about the computer.
Dropped it only twice so far.
Only dropped it twice. Now, maybe this week, maybe next week, maybe 3 weeks from now, maybe you're super excited about the computer. How about 6 weeks from now? How about 10 weeks from now?
Probably infected with a virus.
You probably have multiple viruses on it. But more likely, now it's just normal. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got this computer. I've had this computer for like 6 weeks.
It's no longer new.
It's no longer new. It's no longer flashy. It's cool that you have it, but it's like,
Yeah.
What's new today? And that's how human emotions work.
That's right.
What's the newest thing? Why should I be excited today, right? And if people don't motivate themselves, they look outwards for that. They let things that are happening in their life affect their emotions. So you as the leader need to know that other people are going to have these human emotions, have these people, like, it's not like this shouldn't be this way, they should do their job. Well, yeah, they should, but this is how humans act, right? This is how humans act. If you want them to be continually inspired, you have to continually inspire them. You have to continually preach that message. You have to continually match their goals with what they're doing to get to where they're trying to ultimately go. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about that at all? Do you have any context for this conversation about continually inspiring your team to hit those goals?
I would just, like, if you're struggling to figure out like how or when to do that, just schedule a morning meeting, a morning huddle. It doesn't need to be long, 5-10 minutes, to ask everybody 2 questions. 1, do they know what they're working for in terms of a why for the business? Number 1. And number 2, do they know unto what they are working for in their own life? And you just remind them of that, get them thinking about that every single day. You can do that by telling a story, giving them a fact, giving them an example, whatever that may be. Just ask them and remind them of those 2 things every single day.
And I would argue that the way that the Patriots do that, the Patriots' famous slogan now is "Do your job."
Yeah.
Right? That's the Bill Belichick thing, do your job. So it comes across as like this is a non-emotional decision, do your job. And I get that. Mm-hmm. And it works. But I would argue the reason that works is because they have created a system that says if you play in this system, you will win. And as a competitor, that's what you want to do. You want to win. Mm-hmm. You're there to try to win championships, right?
Right.
And anytime that somebody is there that starts getting outside of that system that says, I want to get paid more, that doesn't fit in that system anymore, they're like, okay, cool, gone, bye, because they don't fit the system anymore. It's less of like a turn off all your emotions and have no emotions, and that's how you're going to work here, and that's how we're going to win. It's not that. It's collectively our system. If you stick in our system, we are going to win. Mm-hmm. And if you get out of the system, we no longer want you here because our system will win.
Right.
I would argue that's the big point of the do your job. It's stick in this system, and we all get to our collective big goals.
That's right.
Okay. Let's go on to some non-football references here, especially if you're a Patriots hater. Again, I don't care either way. I just am marveled by their winning streak. Herb Keller, co-founder and former CEO of Southwest Airlines. Marshall, go ahead and give me the Herb Keller quote here. It's a long one, but it's basically, this is why Southwest is the way it is. This paragraph right here is the reason that Southwest has a brand for people that enjoy working at their job. Hit me.
Herb Keller, co-founder and former CEO of Southwest Airlines. He says, we've been successful because we've had a simple strategy. Our people have bought into it. Our people fully understand it. We have had to have extreme discipline in not departing from the strategy. We basically said to our people, there are 3 things that we're interested in. The lowest costs in the industry. Well, that can't hurt you, having the lowest costs. The best customer service. That's very important element of value. We said, beyond that, we're interested in intangibles, a spiritual infusion, because they are the hardest things for your competitors to replicate. The tangible things your competitors can go out and buy, but they can't buy your spirit. So it's the most important thing of all, the most powerful thing of all.
Okay, so he's saying this is how Southwest operates.
Yeah.
Here's our big 3 things. This is what everybody knows. He's cast the vision. This is what management knows to pass on to their people. 1, we want to have the lowest costs. Southwest does a pretty good job of that. Mm-hmm. If you're flying anywhere and you're just trying to get there as cheap as you can possibly go without it being like scary, Southwest is probably your best bet. Number 2, we want to have the best customer service. And Southwest is known for their customer service. They're known for their stewardesses that rap that will like rap or sing like the instructional stuff that you have to listen to on the plane every time.
Yeah.
Their customer service is up there. And number 3, they are interested in a spiritual infusion, aka inspiration, aka they're trying to inspire their team, a spiritual infusion. It says because they are the hardest things for your competitors to replicate. Talk about a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
You're saying that by doing this, by inspiring your team, by giving them this spiritual infusion, that's something your competitors can't replicate, or if they can, it's going to be very difficult for them. And that's why Southwest Airlines continues to grow, while American Airlines continues to shut down shops.
That's right.
Okay. Last quote here. Simon Sinek referenced this earlier. Go ahead and give me the Simon Sinek quote here, man. We're talking about employees, your team, right? and how they're thinking. You, as the leader, you're thinking of hitting your goals. You're thinking of how can I maximize our time, maximize our resources to hit our goals. This is what they are thinking. Go ahead and give me the Simon Sinek quote here.
Simon Sinek, this is what he says, okay? He wrote the best-selling book, Start With Why. He also has written Leaders Eat Last. Leaders Eat Last, okay? This one comes from Start With Why. He says, there are only two ways to influence human behavior. You can manipulate it or you can inspire it. Very few people or companies clearly can clearly articulate why they do what they do. By why, I mean your purpose, cause, or belief. Why does your company exist? Why do you get out of bed every morning? And why should anyone care? People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. We are drawn to leaders and organizations that are good at communicating what they believe. Their ability to make us feel like we belong, to make us feel special, safe, and not alone is part of what gives them the ability to inspire us.
The biggest thing that stuck out there was we are drawn to leaders and organizations that are good at communicating what they believe. To me, this says that there's other leaders, there's other organizations out there that have good intentions, that believe in big things, that believe in big visions, but they're not winning. It's because they're not good at communicating that to their team. Coming back to communication, continually inspiring, continually communicating the vision, continually inspiring in a way that says, okay, I know that all you're doing right now is you are doing the graphic design, and that's all you're doing, but this is how this plays into our big vision, and this is how this gets you to your goals. So that's the number one reason here, number one way to inspire. To close this out, the number one way to inspire is to create a win-win. To create a win-win for your employees. Marshall, talk to me about creating a win-win for your employees, for your team, and why that does so much for them when it comes to getting the job done.
At some point, you're going to have to ask your employees, whether it's when they're being onboarded or if you haven't done this, okay, if you haven't created a win-win, I encourage you to systematically schedule time with all of your employees to identify this. But you have to identify why it is that they wake up every morning, okay? Why is it? What are they working towards? What do they want to achieve? Because I assure you, it's not to come to the office and do their job every day. That's not their motivation. They may be able to do that and do that very well, but everybody has something that motivates them a little bit further, that motivates them, engages them in the company. They do their job because of what, okay? And you as a manager, you have got to know that. And when you know that win, what is the win for them? Why is it that they want to continue working there? It's great compensation. They like the people they work with. They believe in the cause. They have the why. When you understand what their why is, you'll be able to continue to provide that for them. And in exchange, they can help you get to your why, okay? So it's a good mutually beneficial relationship. But if you find that you are not providing their why, or they are not providing your why, then at that point, it's not a mutually beneficial relationship. It's not a win-win relationship. It's a win-lose relationship. And somebody's being parasitic of the other, okay? So it's important to identify that. Go ask your employees. Go ask the people that you work with, your team members, what is it that drives them? What is the why? Why do they come work at the business every single day? And when you ask them that, they will actually feel the fact that you ask them, regardless of where you're at in terms of providing that why, the fact that you care enough to ask them directly, what is your why? What is it that you want to achieve? What are you working towards greater than your job? The fact that you ask them, you will immediately see a change in their interest and engagement in what their job is, just by asking. So that is the action item. Ask your employees, what is your why?
One last thought on this. This is a Gary Vaynerchuk philosophy. Gary Vaynerchuk philosophy, the old 51-49. Someone asked him how he approached how his team hired and how he kept people on board and that sort of thing. And he said that it all goes back to 51-49. He wants to provide 51% of the value in the relationship. He wants to be the one that's providing a little bit more value in the relationship because then it's leverage. Then the other guy, the other team, either the other employee or their partner or their business deal you might have struck with somebody, they need you. They get more value out of you than you do out of them. And then it's a win. you still get almost everything that you want, right? You get 49% of the value, and they are happy about it, and it's a win-win. Everybody's excited to be there. Everybody's excited to work there.
That's right.
Okay. So, again, you have to clearly define why your business does what it does in such a way that it'll resonate with your new hires and your entire team. When you learn how to consistently inspire your team and create a win-win for your team and be the 51, let them be the 49, things will begin to change. You'll start to inspire your team, and that's how you start building that super team.
Hot sizzle.
The hottest of sauces.
The hottest of sauces.
The hottest of sauces. Okay, that's it for this episode. Time to get on to the daily wins of the week over here, Marshall.
Ba-boom.
Marshall, I would like you, we might need some mojo. We might need a little bit of mojo here, Marshall. Do we have any mojo today?
Maybe.
Any mojo today?
It'll be a surprise.
There's a little bit of I hear some mojo. Yeah, there's some mojo right there. Yeah, sure. I like it. That'll work. A little bit of mojo here. Marshall, I would like you to give me the daily wins of the week as if...
I don't know that anybody actually likes this part of the show.
I'm going to keep doing it until I hear otherwise.
Okay.
I want to hear the daily wins of the week, but I want to hear it like I'm the guy that works at the Apple store that sold you your new computer. You get to be you're the Apple sales guy, and you're selling us the daily wins of the week.
Couldn't have been more obscure.
I mean, we can do Ron Artest instead.
No, I can't say all those words.
Okay.
I don't even know how I'm gonna do this.
This should be easy.
I never know.
You're selling phones. You're selling.
It's just not that exciting.
You're selling.
I'm literally always the easiest person to sell because I come in and I know that I want to buy it. I'm walking into the store to buy it.
I'm only here to buy something.
Yeah.
They're like, would you like to buy something?
I go, why have we not swiped my card yet? So this guy, okay. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen.
Of course.
Because you always got to say ladies and gentlemen.
That's how you introduce yourself at the Apple store.
Okay. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I see that you are looking at some new computers. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? A computer? You looking for an iPod? You looking for an iSmash? What are you looking for? Okay. What do you want? You want a computer, an iMac? Okay, let's get you an iMac. What kind of resolution do you want? Do you want some resolution? Do you want some? You want 4K, 5K, 6K, 7K? How many Ks do you want? You want half a K? We'll get you half a K. And then what kind of processor do you want? Do you want some processor with that? Do you want a processor? Do you want a mouse with that? Do you want a Magic Mouse? Do you want a keyboard? Do you want a Magic Mouse? We'll get you a Magic Mouse. And then, sir, did you want to go ahead and pick that up in the store? Do you want to order online? Do you want me to help you with that? I could potentially help you with that. Do you want to? Okay, I'll help you with that. Let me go ahead and run this card for you. We're gonna run it for about $3,500, and then we'll deliver that in the next 7 to 10 days. Thank you. Okay, here, there's the card. Also, coming up next, we got the daily wins of the week.
That was like some sort of mix between like auctioneer Apple guy.
I don't think
and
so. No, I think most Apple salespeople were formerly auctioneers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a niche that they tap into.
It's more of like a stutter.
Okay. Are you now trying to insult Apple employees everywhere across the world?
They're really good.
You are intentionally insulting Apple as a company.
I went in there and
you are a PC guy.
I literally had one. I literally had one of the best conversations I've had all week with the guy last night picking up my computer.
You are a PC Windows guy.
No,
it is coming out right now. It's boiling to the top.
But I assure you, not the case.
All right, daily wins of the week. 2 of them here. I'll let you take the second one, which is the Kirkpatrick and Live one. But the number 1 here I want to get into, the Tulsa Oilers. We talked about them on yesterday's episode. Got a chance to talk to Taylor Hall, the general manager of the Tulsa Oilers. Talked to him this morning to ask more specific questions. Their ticket sales, we said, were up 25%. They're up 50% over the last 2 years.
That's hot.
50%. They're getting more leads through the ads they're running. They have a repeatable sales process with sales bonuses for hitting those numbers. And the leadership was willing to make the changes, willing to take the step of faith that we had for him to follow the system that led to them having their sales up 50% over the last 2 years.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. Give me the Kirkpatrick and Lie.
Kirkpatrick and Lie, check this out. If you Google them, they are on the first page of Google for both the Google My Business map,
Yep.
okay, and search results.
Tulsa Orthodontist.
Tulsa Orthodontist, Kirkpatrick and Lie, they are killing the game.
They're moving up in Google, and why does that matter? Because that's how people are finding businesses these days.
Turns out that the internet thing's starting to catch on.
I still think it's a fad. I think it's going to...
Well, keep buying that stock in the yellow pages.
I think AOL is going to make a rebound.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know what we do, Sam, show them. Go to thrivetimeshow.com/workshops. It's a 2-day, 16-hour business extravaganza that's going to fill you and your business with so many action steps. It's going to be huge for you. It's going to make a giant change in your business. If you have not heard about us at all and you don't even know what the workshops are, go to thrive15.com, fill out a business evaluation. There you will be able to find out your business score, how you rank in about 30 different business categories to find out where you need to spend your time, start working on it in your business to make a big growth, to make a big difference. And if you tell them that the Daily Hustle Show sent you, you're going to get that book right there, Thrive, from the COO of Thrive 15, Clay Clark. You're going to get that book for free if you tell them the Daily Hustle Show sent you. That was the episode 37 Nick Van Exel / Meta World Peace episode, inspiring how to inspire your team to create that super team. We got one more in this 4-part series, the fun one, the firing. The firing episode is coming up next, Marshall. You're excited about this one.
Yeah, can you see how excited I am?
You're more than excited. You can't even stand still.
That's right.
That's right. Over there, Marshall Morris. Over here on this side, Daniel McKenna. This has been The Daily Hustle. We will see you next time. Boom.